Now, I've had in Silicon Valley a number of people, I mean, I've run 5 venture capital funds, okay? You need to be trusted if you do that. You have custody of money that you're going to invest for very serious people who are serious about their money.
Yeah.
Okay, they are not giving it to crazy people. And they obviously investigated me and decided that I could be trusted, because in Silicon Valley, if you don't think of things, people come to you with an invention. They've invented this device. Okay, now I'm obviously, when I leave my office, I'm not going to sign any non-disclosure. Okay, because it's not worth the paper it's written on. Okay, attorneys think it's worth something, but it's really not, because information is all around.
Yep.
Okay, so I know if I have an idea, and I think I'm very bright,
Yeah.
but I also know 10 people within 10 miles who are brighter than I am, and I know them, okay? And I know they're brighter than I am. I mean, that's what Silicon Valley is, okay? So if I want to develop an invention, I'm going to go see them, and I'm going to tell them my idea. I'm not going to keep it to file a patent, okay?
Yeah.
Not at first. I mean, we may file a patent together, but I may have invented something that's a piece of hardware that's very clever.
Yeah.
Somebody will have to write the software. I trust your intelligence, and you're my competitor, but I'm going to bring this to you. I'm going to say, can you write the software for this? And we're going to spend a weekend together writing a business plan together. There's going to be a new company, and we're going to get $12 million to start the company. That's the way it works. That's what France never understood.
Yeah.
That's what Europe doesn't get. That's not the way companies are started here.
Yeah.
Okay? And the but that's not the way it started in Michigan or in New York. It's only in Silicon Valley that you can do that. Because if you do that in Europe, somebody will to try to steal your invention and do it before you, which is completely stupid. Because I already have the next invention,
Yes.
and you know that, and because of what I've done before. And even with being competitors, we're going to work together to make this happen. Okay, and that's the way we need to approach UFOs, with people who think beyond the horizon. That's the way Dr. Nolan works. I mean, everything is done in his life is like that.
I think I really like what you say. I came also from academia, and I left and I started my own startup. So maybe I can talk about it after reporting. So I love what he said. I think maybe the question is, did you find any people in Silicon Valley interested in anti-gravity experimentation, like in commercialization, not only in the academia? Did you find any ideas like that people won't invest in that? Or maybe the Lockheed Martin, because you mentioned Lockheed Martin, maybe they have something secret going on. We don't know. I don't know if you know, but do you see investment in this commercialization, anti-gravity technology, this kind of things? Yeah.
I had that conversation with Dr. Hynek. One night we were in the observatory, in the dome of the observatory at Northwestern, and, working on the telescope. And I told him, look, I mean, I love this telescope. It's a 40-inch telescope. You can do certain things with it. This was a telescope for the students to learn astrophysics. And you can learn astrophysics with a telescope like that. It's the high range of a good amateur telescope. But I said, Mount Palomar is 200-inch, okay, and they are building larger and larger telescopes. There may be a lot of secret things that people are discovering and that are kept classified. He said, why should we care? Because maybe I'm here with this little telescope, when they are asleep, and maybe there is a supernova.
Mhm.
And maybe this little telescope of 40 inches is the first one that's going to get a spectrum of a supernova. And with a supernova, every minute counts because it's only going to be, in the supernova stage for a few hours. And you have to catch those few hours. Okay. And maybe I just happen to be there. I don't care how many secrets they have because I don't think they know the answer. And you and I we have the files. We have the Air Force files, 14,000 documents. People think those files are worthless. They're not worthless.
Mhm.
They, 90% of it is explainable, with ordinary things in the sky that people have been surprised. There are very, very few hoaxes, you know, because if you're creating a hoax, you're not necessarily going to call the headquarters of the United States Air Force. I mean, you could go to jail for wasting the time of these people. So, but people make mistakes, but that's our job. I mean, we're going to screen out the mistakes and we're going to find the right stuff.
So I think that the anti-gravity experiment, do you still think could be something interesting, like in terms of commercialization? Do you think if you say that you have to think about the future, have to go like 50 years back, but do you think in the aerospace company like the Lockheed Martin, do you think they could be interesting in commercialization anti-gravity technology? I'm not sure. Do you ever thought about that?
So, look, someone from the CIA once told me, I was telling him, you have all these secrets that we're never going to know. He said, you're wrong. Technical secrets come from Silicon Valley, and it's going to take the CIA a couple of years to realize that those things can have, a use in the intelligence world. So yes, we will classify them, but there will be a couple of years where you have access to them before we classify them. And of course, what happened with the transistor, what happened with many, many discoveries. I mean, somebody discovers something in the lab. Well, everybody in the lab is going to know about it. And so when it comes down to that, and as you know, I've been a little bit in that world. I don't have a clearance anymore. Okay. Of course, I'm bound to secrecy about the things that I learned when I had a clearance, but those are things that are going to be known very quickly. I mean, it's things we did with the computer and so on. Those things are going to be open eventually. But there are things that you discover that change your mind, that change the way you're going to approach things. And that is what's really valuable. I mean, there will be new inventions, there will be new things. Okay, when we know where the crash hardware is, we know where it went, and we know where it was taken after that. Pretty much, it's pretty easy to guess. You know who is working on what, who has the skill, who has the intelligence. We're not going to talk about that, okay? But come on, it's le secret de Polichinelle, as we say. Uh, uh, but disclosure has to take the right legal road in Washington. But Washington is a special place. It's government. They are not really looking at the science. They are looking at the impact on society and the impact on the economy. They have to look at that. They look at the impact on law. I mean, most of them are lawyers, not engineers. not doctors. So this will have to be translated many ways in many different audiences, and we as researchers can just testify about what we have and make it public.